Okay, here we are in Kensington, California with a design-build project finished by Nature's Creations. Landscapes owner Taylor Schultz, which is myself speaking and recording this. This is a backyard design that was put together, a two-dimensional 3D design, and focusing on, of course, the hardscape. You see the flagstone patio, which was installed with the base rock, which was DG, or disposed granite, or quarter-bind dust, as you want to call it. The whole backyard was basically that and pea gravel rocks, which was gravel rocks removed. And you see where the turf grass is, and all the planting had to be, all that DG or quarter-bind dust was removed and taken to the dump. So about 4 yards of quarter-bind dust removed. What was existing was used for the patio, set at 2 inches depth grade, and then because the flagstone itself is 2 inches thick, and then cut and laid out into a pattern as you see here, which is also connected, which was a gas line that was cut through at 18 inches from the house to, which we don't have now yet, a fireplace in the middle where that table is at, and then to, of course, the barbecue where you see there, which is all natural gas, which is hooked up. So I'm on a top perspective view. This is kind of a shade garden on top here with the retaining wall, which was existing. Did not put the retaining wall in. It was already there. Top view, as you see, a lot of hydrangeas, ferns, ajugas, kind of colored, the hillside more organic feel, different textures, colors, as you see as the hillside is kind of spanned around here. There's a finger fern, ajugas, the purple foliage, different ferns, of course, also some coral bells, or a hukras they're called as well, is the Latin name for them. So it's the top perspective view of the landscape. So I'm going to kind of pan around here. I'm going to get up and see where the little flagstone I put in here. If I kind of go down the hillside a little bit, bear with me if it's shaky. There's a little patio we put up top that comes from stairs. Up the stairs, the railing was already there, the stairs were already there. There was stairs to nowhere, so we kind of cleaned it out, flattened out the area, leveled it, used some leftover flagstone pieces, and installed this and put the moss rock behind it just to kind of give it a little more shape and, of course, reduce erosion from the trees behind it. The camellia hydrangeas in the corner will grow taller to soften the fence. We have some other plants that are on backward, not installed yet. They were going to be bear's breach in this kind of empty space here. Hydrangeas. On the hillside, we have azaleas. All these bulbs install LEDs. LEDs use only about 3 watts per bulb, and the output of those bulbs are about 25, 30 watts. More of a warm, natural light look. So, but they only use 3 watts. So the amount of electricity saved is immense. But again, the lights are shined up on this Japanese maple, which is pruned, give more light, air movement into the backyard. Because before you couldn't even walk up the steps. So it's all cleaned up, all nice. You have about 3 lights on the hillside. Again, all LEDs. The good thing about LEDs, you don't need to use much. You use a smaller transformer, less wire. You don't need to use many hub systems to put together. You don't have to, you can just daisy chain it together real quick. And because LEDs can operate from 8 volts to 15 volts, there's a diode built in. It converts from AC to DC and can use within that kind of voltage 8 to 15 and still have the same light output. So it's just amazing to add on existing systems, add different lines. So if I add about 3 more lights in the hillside pointing downward, or maybe one in the tree down light, again on moonlight effect. So at night, awesome looking. You see here, this is just accenting hedge foundation plants, which is lavenders, the daisies in between. And of course the lawn with stepping stones that goes to the patio. And then of course to soften the retaining wall, we got some blue fescues and some daisies as well. But here's the lawn, which is coming real nice. Probably needs to get its first cut pretty soon. Again, I just applied compost tea today, which is a plant probiotic, which is really a lot of natural biology it's in the natural environment, which uptakes nutrients, builds soil structure, defends against stress, disease, insects, all natural. Nature's Creations Plant Care makes it, and I apply it on a monthly basis, which feeds the lawn and gives some great color, health, and natural defense. Amazing product to use. And we make it ourselves. So here's a little planter bed in the back that rock you see there was cut in half with a concrete saw. Before it was in a different location, we cut it in two because we couldn't move it, and I put the other piece over here. So cut it in two to kind of soften the area and get a little more perspective to tie in this really cool spot over here, which is the water feature, which is a pondless water feature. The catch basin built below with a float valve, and the float valve will automatically fill it, so you don't have to put a hose to it. So it's always at the right amount of water. And the cool thing is, when we put the gas line in, where the barbecue is and where the fireplace is going to go, we put the electrical line as well, as you see with the hookups to the houses, in the same trench, so we can be able to put a plug in that operates the fountain, which I will turn on. So, which is a really cool effect. And also, we put a light on it as well. You see this little switch right there in the corner. Boom, operates it. It's a real nice, awesome effect. And also put a LED up spotlight on it, which is also waterproof, so it can actually be put into the fountain in full water. Won't corrode, won't rust, won't damage it. So at night, it's awesome looking. It's just the water coming off it, the reflection from the light. It's really cool. Again, all LED, which is awesome. A little more expensive, but the cost of installation and the cost of the transformer in the long run saves you a ton of money. And it lasts about 15, 20 years, or maybe forever. So LED bulbs are sweet. Here's fescue, golden sedge right there. Some other weeping kind of grass as well. They call it the Texas weeping grass. I forgot exactly the name for it, but that was a request from the client. Awesome. Put some barberries around it. It's more of a little more of a grass garden here to soften the fountain, which is all full grown, so it looks amazing. Then we have a trellis built, which is wire, galvanized wire, along these retaining walls. Eventually this pink jasmine will go across, this great fragrance will go across the retaining wall and soften it, which will look really cool. I put one on this side as well to basically counterbalance the layout, as you see here, going across. So that whole area has a nice little wire trellis installed. So here again, there's a little same kind of sedges, fescue. The blue fescue kind of jumps across the landscape, so it kind of ties it all together. And the barberries as well are grouped in threes. Most landscapes you need to group in odd numbers because in natural environment you don't see things in pairs. They're usually in odd numbers, threes, fives, things like that, one. So even numbers are kind of not consistent in a natural environment. So that's what we're kind of looking at when you're designing a landscape. You've got to be a little more organic, like the hillside. The lawn mostly is used just for transition from one point to the next, depending what you're planning on using the lawn for. Is it for a dog? Is it for playing on? Is it just more for transition? A lot of people like you can put in mow this, you don't have to mow it as often. It's more of a bunch grass, low cut to it, and you don't have to mow it. So it just gives you more of a natural look to it, depending on the client. Everybody's different. My perspective, I like grass that is long, don't have to cut it. I'm not looking for a more manicured look. I'm looking for plants that keep the full coverage. And the sprinklers are going off right now as we speak, as you can tell. See? Which is in every 6 feet, triangle pattern, square pattern, what you want. Gives you really nice coverage for a healthy lawn. So designing a system is very important. So the whole irrigation system is also installed by us, designed, laid out, which all runs to a box in the front, which we will be put a smart controller on. There's a, of course, green box where the valves are held. The main line's in the front, which is an anti-siphon device in the front, so nothing can backflow into the house, the backflow device. So everything goes in that valve box that controls the 2 zones, the drip and the lawn. There's a black box right next to it, which is a ball valve that shuts off the fountain, water in the fountain. So if they want to drain it, they can. So there's that bed. There's some pathway lights, also LED bulbs, about 1.5 watts compared to 1520, big difference. So the whole lights on this system, we have about 9 lights, and the output consists of 2 halogen bulbs, which is amazing. So just incredible amount of lights you can put on for a very small amount of wattage. Again, there's a hub system which all the lights get connected together and spliced together right there, so it's very easy to figure out if something's wrong. You can check the system right there. So kind of nice little layout here. all the flagstone has been sealed with a wet look sealer, so it really made the colors pop. You can use on tile, concrete, flagstone you see. You can use it on anything, and it just makes it look amazing. So colors came out awesome. If you didn't, it looked a little more drab. You wouldn't see the color, but now you see the color that pops out. So in perspective, landscape took about to build about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Actually took about 3 weeks, but I didn't need. It was about 2 people, me and another worker, and sometimes, a lot of times, it's by myself to do small things. So there's kind of more of a layout perspective. There's the fountain, the drip is turning on right now, which you can't see, which is below ground. Each plant's getting a consistent amount of water, about a half gallons per hour. So everything's even. Just distribution is what you want. Again, here's just the layout from a different perspective view. As the concrete goes, this is just plain white concrete. I stained it to give it a little more mauve look. There's a base color of the sand, and then, of course, a walnut accent color. And then we gave it, of course, sealed it with wet look sealer. Before, just plain white concrete. So it took a long time to power wash it, etch it, clean it. Of course, tape all around the house so you won't affect the house and damage the house, damage the plants. So prep work takes a long time. So it took about 2 coats of base color of sand, 1 color of accent, which you don't need much, and of course 2 coats of the top wet look sealer. So that kind of really made it pop and really kind of made the old concrete really come to life than just having plain nasty concrete. So here's the landscape. The front was also done by myself. We'll discuss it in the next video. Again, this is designed and built by Nature's Creations Landscapes. George Schultz is the owner, the designer, and the contractor who built this. Again, we also maintain it with compost tea, and we do plant care products and applications for plant health perspectives, and also check sprinkler systems and put smart controllers on it. So everything's got to be balanced and harmony for a beautiful, beautiful layout like this. Check it out. Look at our website, ncilandscaping.com, nciecolandscaping.com, or contact us at 925-876-1271. We do mostly all work in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.